want to know. There we go. We're back right now here on the Moreno Takeover. This is the third segment I think I'm recording right now for our folks on YouTube. As you can see, Miss D is still with me on WJRH, and I just asked her why she gave me such a hard time to take over the blend, which I was on for almost a year on 88.1 FM, when the opportunity came for me to get my own show, the Mix Show, that's now on Wednesdays from 11 to 1. The bottom line is, out of three people, I said Miss D had the maturity to take it seriously, but she gave me a hard time. And I just asked her, and I'm asking her for you so you can see the answer on YouTube. Why did you give me such a hard time?
I gave you such a hard time. I gave you so much pushback because I did not feel as if I was ready for that level of audience. That's what it was.
Wait.
That's right.
Wait.
That's right.
Wait. Eric has said, I've had a conversation with Eric, the owner of WWRN, and he has said that, his listenership has reached over 1 million. And it spikes over 1 million people listen to his station. And I know for sure that I've listened to the open house when you've had folks calling in from Mexico and hitting you on Facebook from all parts of the world. Yeah. So you already have a worldwide audience. What would make you think that you weren't ready for that level of audience at a local radio station?
I don't even know myself. It's so interesting how you can be comfortable in one format, and then when you have to make a change or an adjustment, you feel some kind of discomfort. And that's really what happened to me. I felt as if I was not ready or prepared to deal with a local audience like the audience at WDIY, and we're talking about folks who know music. And then it's not like I don't know music. I know music very well. It's just that for some reason, I really felt uncomfortable with the concept of becoming a person that was more touchable.
Right.
See, it's okay for people to touch us on Facebook. That was easy to deal with, and most of the time those people are way across the globe. But these people are local. These people know that station. They are faithful listeners to that station. You understand what I'm saying? And the whole concept that I came with was a little bit different. My personality is not like most people's personality. I knew that about myself going in the gate. And then you're looking at, the diversity of the music that I enjoy. Wasn't sure that it would go over well with those people. And so, that was my trepidation going in. And of course, if you have trepidation, the first thing you're going to want to do is kind of close that door. That door is opening and you're trying to push it back the other way. Because you got nervous. But
that's all that was, nerves.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah.
Okay, but long story short, we got you in.
Yeah.
We did some training.
Yeah, we did some.
And we did a half a show with you doing it, during an hour. All right. Gave you some feedback. And then we did a show by yourself. I was in the studio, but pretty much by yourself. And then I said, all right, guys, she's got it. She's good. She's good to go. DJ Rome, I was listening at home the first day.
Oh my gosh.
Now, folks, I just want you. I'm going to give you the full story just because you're listening to the Friday Night Function show featuring Dirty Fingers live right now on 104.9 FM WJRH as I approach the 2 o'clock hour. So I give you the legal ID, all right? And the website for the station is WJRH.org. And you can call if you want to at 610-330-5316. Now, that's only for you listening live, because if you're listening to this as a podcast, you might get somebody else who will not know what you're talking about. But Rome, I said she's ready to go on the first day, all right? And I was at home listening at 1 o'clock. Now, normally I just turn on the show at some point between 1 and 4. But on her first day at 1 o'clock, I was listening. Rome, I'm going to tell you right now what I heard.
What?
I heard a nervous woman. I said, this is not the same woman that I just trained to be on the air. This is definitely not Miss D that I know is on 1628. It wasn't something else at that time, but on WRN. Right. And I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's just nerves. You know, Neil says he's going to be there. Seamus said he's going to be there. Right. Everybody said they're going to be there. Right. We got her. Right. Cool. She's good. Right. I think by 1:20, my wife said, "You going up there?" No, I'm not going up there. She's good. It's just nerves. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. By about 1:45, my wife said, "You going up there, right?" I said, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And when I got there, for some reason, DJ Rome, Miss D was happy to see me.
Mm-hmm. I was.
All right.
I was happy to see you because I was very nervous, and for me. And you know what? I don't know if there's anybody else out there listening that can relate to what I'm talking about, but there's something that goes beyond nervousness. There's something that happens in you mentally that deters you from moving to the next level of your destiny. And
Hold on. There was something that happened. The reason why you were a little bit extra nervous.
Why?
Because you said, Neil, everybody's up there.
Yeah.
But what happened?
They wasn't there.
They weren't there. That was number one. Okay. You know? And I wasn't very familiar with the board and, moving around with all these, different sponsors and their little short quips and, all that kind of stuff. And so I was really, really green with it. And that made me really nervous. And then, on top of that, I'm thinking in my mind, there is a lot of people listening to you, right? And I'm thinking in my mind, ooh, that's scary.
so let me tell you what happened, folks. I go into the studio, and Miss D's in the studio by herself, and she's live on the air. So I go into the studio, I close the door behind me, and I turn the monitors down in the studio. And I look Miss D in the face like she's not older than me, like she's not going to be able to slap me down. And I say, "What are you doing? This ain't Miss D that I know. This ain't Darlene Oates. Where are you from? You from Brooklyn, New York. You ain't acting like you from Brooklyn right now." I gave her the pep talk that I never knew I could give to Miss D. And it was like, you got to go in the locker room at halftime and talk to your team. That's exactly what happened. And I said, put something on that you like. I don't care what's on the core box. Put some music on that you like right now. All right? You already know the board. You do this. This button's to talk. This button's this. Put that in there. You know this stuff already. I watched you do it. Yeah. Put some music on that you like and let's go.
Okay.
And then I left the studio.
Yes, you did.
I tell you what, Miss D.
Let me alone.
But I had to, because you had to know that you could do it. It had to be reaffirmed that you could do it, and that I turning the show over to you. There's a reason why I was confident in you. And if I say you can do it, I know you can do it. But you just had to see that yourself. And I'm glad that I followed my wife, who was probably listening to God, because that's normally what happens, and said, "Let me go up there."
Because I needed that reassurance at that time, and I was happy to see you because I felt so isolated. Now, they have their own training techniques, and everyone has their own training techniques. But for me, I'm an information data person. I need to know. I need to know because I get comfort in the knowing, right? And so for me, I have a certain level of professionalism that I always like to display with whatever, regardless of what I do. It has to be at a certain level. That's just the standard I set inside of myself. So for me to fall far behind or far below that standard was not acceptable. And I was in there mentally beating myself down, like how we do, in this repetitive negative thing that I was going through. And so for a couple of months, each time that I would get up there, and it was my time after the music, my introductory music for the segment would go off, my heart would race like crazy, And then one day I said to myself, after my husband told me like 25 million times, "You're good. You sound good. You're good. Relax. Take it easy. you know, all of the stuff that you said, all the stuff that he said, and all the stuff that I was getting from people who were listening and saying, Darlene, wow, your voice sounds really good over the airwaves. Wow, I didn't know that you knew that song. I haven't heard that song in decades. And so I was starting to get affirmation. But it really turned on for me when I came in one day and I said, okay, let's go. And then it was a click. And I moved through the show without an error.
Nice.
And that was the day that I got so much affirmation and support from the staff over at WDIY. And I felt good about myself. And I said, okay, you can do this. So you're going to have flubs. This is a live show.
That's right.
That's what happens. You're going to have equipment failure issues. You're going to have to know how to quickly turn that around and deal with it and not let the silence be too long.
That's right.
So sometimes you will hear, even on the show today, I had a couple of moments where my CD moved over into
something else.
into something else.
Okay.
Okay. So I had to quickly adjust it, you know, and move it back, and then start it manually.
Whereas
normal, exactly. So that happened to me about 3 times today. But I had the confidence to be able to handle the situation and move forward with the show. People don't know what I'm dealing with. They don't want to know. They want to hear the music. They want to hear my voice. They want to hear what's going on with Miss D. And I was able to tell them, you know, that I had just recently become a grandmother. And then it's my birthday. And now I got Mother's Day. So I got a trifecta going on here. And I'm lapping it up. Yes.
Which counts to your audience, because your audience is your show. Is an interactive show, not one that you designed that way, but people are calling just because they're reacting to the music.
Correct.
And one thing that I noticed that you try to introduce new music to
every single week.
All right. So I tuned in one day and you were playing flamenco. And you were saying like this is from this place or that place, and I was like, well, look at that Panamanian up there playing some Latin music. She playing Latin music I don't even play. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, bringing that background to it, you know. And each week, folks, that you tune into the Blend on 88.1 FM Eastern Standard Time, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You will definitely hear some classic funk or disco, you know.
Definitely.
Like, what are some of your favorite records to play?
Oh my gosh, I got an endless repertoire of music. I love a lot of Anita Baker. I love a lot of Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm a Stevie Wonder fanatic. And recently, anniversary of Prince, I had to. Well, they allowed me to give him a tribute, which was, you know, more than once.
Right.
And then, of course, I have some others. Crosby, Steele, and Nash.
That's right.
America. The Doobie Brothers.
That's right.
I'm that kind of person. I have a very eclectic taste when it comes down to music. And so what I'm doing is I'm expanding that eclectic taste, but I'm also funneling in house music. And so when I bring in gospel jazz or house music or different genres into the mix at WDIY, what I get back is people saying, you know, I didn't think I was going to like this, but I really, really like this show, you know, and they'll call me up to tell me that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that input, and I appreciate the fact that they're willing to listen to different genres of music instead of just being in one area.
Let me ask you a little bit about your coming up, as because you've alluded to, you spoke on some of these things, but coming up, growing up in New York, and being Panamanian. What was that like for you and your siblings?
Well, one of the things that we were really good about doing back then was we were good at blending. And if you weren't good at blending, then you just didn't get along. You know what I'm saying? New York City, particularly Brooklyn, which is where I'm from, it's a hard place. and you've got to be able to literally swallow your accent. And blend in with the people that you're surrounded by.
Now, wait. Now, I think I heard this before, but was that Pink Houses?
Pink Houses?
Where you from? Are you from Pink Houses?
No.
Okay. So where were you from in Brooklyn?
I am from Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, and Canarsie, East New York, and Brownsville.
Or every other place around Pink Houses. Pink Houses in East New York. All right. Okay. All right. I asked.
My mother moved me from place to. She moved a whole 6 of us from place to place to place.
Well, I ask because depending on where you're at, in New York, you don't necessarily have to blend. So what made it a scenario that you guys felt like you had to blend?
Because we were always in areas where we were the minority.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So we were always the only family for a long time. And then when that mixture became a bit overwhelming for my mother, she would move us to another neighborhood where we were the only again. So for me, I was never really in a scenario where I was a majority. I was always a minority.
So in your household, and I'm asking you these questions because this is the Moreno Takeover, and I'm reaching out to all of the Afro-Latinos out there, not to disrespect anybody that does not consider themselves Afro-Latino or can see something different when they look in the mirror. But for me, this particular thing is about celebrating the contribution to music and culture that Afro-Latinos make, because I don't see enough of that celebrated. Absolutely. So what was it like in your household? Did you guys speak Spanish in your household, or were you speaking English?
It was always a mixture. It was always a mixture of Spanish and English. And particularly when our family came, we had a lot of cousins and a lot of other relatives that, we lived a communal life. So whenever they were there, it was like no English spoken. And that was the rule because, a lot of Panamanian people, felt like they had some serious adversity with America because of the bombing over in Panama and, the different things that happened. And so it was a rebellion to America to not speak English. So that's why we didn't speak English for a very long time. And then, we had to, because we had to go to school here. Right. We had to learn English. And I found through, observation that it was important for me to be articulate about what I liked, what I disliked, and what I knew. Because if I acted as if I didn't know, I would be taken advantage of in a lot of different areas. So that was really one of my stronger suits, because I made my intention was to let you know that I'm an intelligent person. And if you ever spoke to my dad, if you ever spoke to my mom, you would be able to determine these are very intelligent people. These are very learned people. But the thing is that my father came over here, when he was a young man. And prior to that, in Panama, he had to leave school, which many Panamanians did back in that time. We're talking, my dad is 92 years old right now.
Was he a digger?
He worked in the Panama Canal. That's how they ended up there, because they're originally from Barbados.
Yeah, he might be too young to be a digger. 92.
Yeah.
He might be too young to be a digger. He might be the first generation after that. Yeah, So he worked in the Panama Canal.
Right. They worked in a canal, and my mom worked on the base.
Those are good jobs.
My mom worked on the base. She worked in the commissary.
Yeah, for those of you not from Panama, and what I've come to know and understand is that if you worked in the canal zone, you probably had a good job. All right, because you worked for the Panama Canal Commission, or if you worked on the base, you worked directly for Americans. Yes. So you got paid consistently. It might not have been like what you was really worth, because racism did exist. Yes, American racism did exist on American bases in Panama. I can't speak on anywhere else, but definitely in Panama. But you were at least paid, and paid consistently. Correct. So your pops had a good job.
Yes, he did, and so did my mamita.
All right.
My mamita, she had a great job because she worked in a commissary.
How did your parents maintain culture here outside of speaking
That was
Spanish in the
very
household?
easy. That was very easy. We have Papito, who was my uncle. My uncle, like by name only. You know what I mean? Like he was my cousin, really. But we called him Uncle Papito because we all did as kids called him Uncle Papito.
I got the same thing. That's Uncle Carlos. He's my
Okay.
Tio. He's my Tio, but he's really my primo. He's my father's
Yeah,
first cousin.
exactly.
But that's Uncle Carlos.
Exactly,
Okay.
because he's an elder and you have to give him respect. So you know they get those titles, and you know my cousins that grew up, they became my aunties. You know, and so that culture was still there. We had Panamanian food. We always had arroz con pollo and you know plantanos and all of those great you know staple foods from Panama, but they were mixed in with American food after time.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So in the household we spoke both English and Spanish, and we had to learn it.
Now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. Did you go out a lot with your mom or your dad? Like just
My mom.
All right. So when you went out with your mom, let me just ask a question. All right. When you went out with your mom and you passed by a McDonald's and you said, "Mom, can we get some McDonald's?"
You don't do that. That is not a good thing to try to do with a Panamanian
Now,
mother.
did your mother say that she could make a McDonald's hamburger at home? Did she give you that?
My mother didn't give me that, sweetie. My mother gave me a look. The look was the death.
All right. Yeah, we don't eat that.
Because if you got the look, it means you're going to get the spanking. Because why would you come in the street and ask me for food when I have food in the refrigerator waiting for you to eat it?
Yeah.
Why would you do such a thing?
Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay,
No.
all right, there it is.
We don't do that.
So shout out to everybody that, you know, has got parents from another country who look at you crazy like, you want to eat that what?
No.
Not just that American food, but
American food.
that you want that? No, my mother would give me this. Listen, I can make a McDonald's when we go home. You get that some fried. I go and take up a potato and cut it up. You get to
Coney Island.
like French fries aren't supposed to be looking like saucers. You know what I mean?
Coney Island. We would go all the way to Coney Island
You want the hot dogs?
and not eat.
Right. No Nathan's hot dogs for you.
No.
No, you get that hot dog at home.
That's right.
I bought three bags at home. You get that hot dog when you go home. Listen,
I understand it. There's 6 of us, so I get it.
That does make sense. Let me ask you a question. Now, this might be a little inside baseball for those of you who are not Panamanian. But while your parents were here, did they play the lottery in Panama?
Oh, of course they play numbers.
There it is.
Are you kidding?
They might have bought numbers from my father. I'm just saying.
It's possible.
Hopefully he paid them.
In the city.
His rep was good, though. I understand his rep was good. He definitely paid. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was another big thing.
Numbers,
growing up here and going back and forth to Panama as a kid, the numbers was a big thing, man.
Big gambling. That and Susu.
And Susu, yes, that's right. That's right.
Susu is legitimate, though.
They used to run the Susu, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you go out, you know, that's how you kept money, you know, in your community.
Exactly. It was a Panamanian bank.
Yeah, basically, you know. Listen,
Grassroots.
I shout out to everybody that I know, family or not, that is from the Isthmus of Panama, and anywhere, you know, that you know your parents, especially if you're American and your parents try to keep some culture. I mean, you know, I think that's a dope thing. You know, my son's name is Javier. My daughter is Janae. Now, I tried to go with a couple names. They were all English, and then I tried some Spanish names. My wife was not going for it because I was like Giovanna. Once we settled on J, I was like, well, Giovanna, right? No, nothing, no, Isia, nothing. She was like, no. So I was with Janae. Now I try to say, well, that's Spanish for Janet. She's like, no, it's not. No, that wasn't why you picked it. Matter of fact, you didn't even pick that name. You know, so unfortunately, my daughter didn't get the Spanish names. My son did. You know, I was trying to get a junior, but I acquiesced on that. You know, so he's got the middle name from me. But yeah, I tried to go with Jorge. My wife was like, no, that's my father's name. No, I know your grandson is Jerry, right?
Yes, he's named after his papa.
See, Jerome, you got that. You know, I couldn't get that. No Jorge. I said, if we have another one, he's gonna be Jorge. You know what I mean? No, didn't happen. You know? We just didn't get another one. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, you know, I try any which way possible to just keep the culture alive.
And you know, we do that at the gatherings. I mean, you've been to our house many times when we've had the whole family over, and you know, you have the food, you have the talk, you have the conversation, you have the whole ambiance. I
looked for the uncle with the gold tooth. That's one.
Well,
Just
you know,
one.
they kind of got rid of that because it was becoming a decay problem.
Okay. But I was definitely looking for one uncle with the gold tooth, and I said, that's the one I'm going to talk to. Because that's the one that gamble. That's the one that gamble. You drink a little Seco or probably Abuelo, you know. That's the one I'm going to hang out with, the one with the gold tooth, you know.
What you talking about?
Right. I think I bought a bottle of Seco to your house.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I was looking for that recently. I was like, I got to go to Panama and get the next bottle.
Yes, indeed.
Listen,
Either that, or we're gonna have to call some family and have them ship it.
If they can do that now. Shout out to all. Listen, I want to shout out all of the old timers. If you're not like 70 or 80 years old, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I want to shout out all the old timers who knows how to pack luggage to send things. I said pack luggage, not a barrel Jamaicans. We was packing luggage with food, car tires, parts, smokes. They was packing luggage full of things and sending it. You was wrapping up stuff. And we're not talking no illegal drugs. We was sending, you know, what's the word, commodities and food to Panama before 9/11, you know.
Exactly.
So shout out to the old timers that used to do that to make sure their family was straight. Crown Pilot was a big thing. We had to send from New York. We had to send it to my godmother. You know, rest in peace to Miss Ivy Seeley and Kit Seeley. We had to send that to her. She wanted some Crown Pilot, you know, and Social Tea Biscuit.
Yes.
In return, we'd get Milo, because I used to drink Milo as a kid.
Oh my God, you used to drink Milo. Everybody drank
Chocolate,
Milo.
though. I didn't like the vanilla one. But the
yeah,
Milo.
but everybody liked the vanilla one.
Yeah, I didn't really like that. I like the chocolate one. You send me the green one with the yellow lining on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we used to send that. So whenever somebody was coming from Panama, make sure you go see Ivy, because I need that Milo, you know? So shout out to everybody that knows that's the old timers then. Oh, yeah. So listen, I thank you for just coming onto the show as a guest, as a featured guest of the Friday Night Function show. You're always welcome here, as you know, because not only do I rock here, DJ Rome rocks here, DJ Dog rocks here, and on occasion we're blessed with Dr. D rocking here also. That's the design of the show that my brothers can get on, especially when I have to work, you know.
Exactly.
So you're always welcome here, but I thank you for coming on as a special guest, staying up at this time of night to be speaking to us, to our listeners on this show.
Thank you to the listeners as well.
Listen, shout out to my Bayesian friend, Bass One, over at WBMC Radio, who will get this in a few weeks and put this out as a podcast. And shout out to my Bayesian wife, Michelle. And shout out to all of the Jamaicans that I know. And, you know, all of the folks from the Caribbean. And thank you for looping us into that, even though we're from Central America. But, you know, if you find any black Panamanians, we are in West Indian neighborhoods. You don't see us. You don't see us up in Washington Heights. You don't see us in Corona or Flushing. We are in Flatbush.
That's right.
For sure. You know what I mean?
Avenue.
So shout out to those of us who to recognize what that is. In the meantime, folks, we're going to continue on with some music, man. I've got some more from Deep Elements, and we're going to end the show with him. I had a lot more to do, but you know what? I think this is a good place to end the show. So we're going to rock out with Deep Elements, and I thank you for listening to the Friday Night Function show live on 104.9 WJRH. Do I have some editing to do?
Are you hooked up over here? Something. Hang on.
Oh, that's a third one I don't need. That's for video.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm gonna end up doing is taking his mixes and making some traffic shows out of them.
There you go.
Make some use out of it. You know? And then we're going to waste. All right, that was excellent. I know I had to stop because you were doing it. And she was about to lose it. She was about to fall asleep right on the air. You know what I mean?
In mid-sentence.
In mid-sentence.
It go down. Body shut down. No, it's just that today was just a ridiculously long day.
Well, yeah, you didn't.
It really was, and I didn't get any rest. And
Come on, man.
you know, they kept coming in the room because you know when I get in my flow, I don't like to be disturbed. And they kept coming in there asking for pictures of Ryan, and you know everybody wanted to see Ryan.
Huh?
You brought them up there?
Pictures.
Oh, pictures. Oh, okay.
Pictures of
Oh,
Ryan.
because you're back. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, grandma this and grandma that, and you know all that conversation. And
Well,
when they
family.
and you know when I play a certain song, you know Neil or somebody comes rolling in there, so you know.
Hey, what's that? Oh, I remember.
You know.
Got stories.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all good though. That's how you know that you know you're
Mhm.
liking the vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You guys head up tomorrow night. I might do the workout from my house tomorrow night because they say it's gonna be raining.
How did you
Yes, it's gonna be raining for the next few days. Actually.
Yeah, I'm 100 on Mixler. I don't worry about
Oh,
it.
you use that?
Yeah, just Mixler. I send them a message, email. I won't be in the studio tonight.
So the show doesn't broadcast?
The show doesn't broadcast here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does broadcast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it often because I like to come up here
Yeah.
quiet and I'll record.
So you
traffic
can do the
jam.
show from home from here too, right?
Somebody has to be here to put
Somebody
it
has to just put it
put
on.
it on. So
That's an option now. I could probably help out with that sometime.
you don't need to at this point. We will need to do that. That's one of the ways that we're going to be on FM radio.
Oh. Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
We're not going to play around with it. Okay?
Good.
All right. So, like I said, keep everything to yourselves. Not everybody in the
Keep it
function
close to
does
the
what
chest, you know.
tell you because we're kind, right?
You have to keep things close to the chest
Yeah.
until the time is right to reveal it. That's what people don't understand.
Or I have to,
Sometimes.
or if I have to.
Yeah, you know.
I'll send you the link
period.
because there might be folks who that might want to be a part of that.
Oh, okay.
And,
Oh, okay, great.
bless
Yes.
us. I'm
Yes.
not looking for investments. I'm looking for donations.
Right.
So that's a totally different thing. This is
Funding.
truly,
Mhm.
this is truly first round of funding.
Yeah.
Friends and family.
Good for you.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
great. Thank you.
Holy cow.
That was a new one
Gary.
too. There you go.
Oh,
It's locked.
Jeez.
It's locked.
Just can't open
Oh,
it.
you know what? That thing fell down in. Did it fall down? No, it fell down here. It slid down and fell in between. Oh, I see it.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, we need a pen or something.
A pen. There's not a slim one. There's one here.
Pen?
Big gap between.
Oh, wow. Who knows why they have that?
We don't have a
Full
slim
work
one.
that shit in here.
They don't take it seriously enough.
Yeah, clearly.
Get a.
Something that's
Oh,
longer, like a
Get in there. Have my little.
like a hanger or something.
And this is mine. I was looking for this.
Mm.
You know that power supply was mine, and this is the rest of it.
The one that was out there, that was
Yeah.
asking who's this?
Yeah. So it was Amir's.
Yeah, I thought it was here. So I gave it to you, right? The whole one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's down in there. Huh?
And it's wide. It's wide. You know what you need, like a hanger. Or
A
something.
hanger.
Okay. So, you know what to do next Friday?
Yep.
Or if you come up tomorrow.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Either which way, with as many things are broken in this room, I'm not.
Yeah,
Not this way, man.
and it's locked.
Like that headphone doesn't work.
Right.
And I got an envelope. That envelope over there.
Yeah.
That cord don't work.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna put this right on top.
I'm gonna worry about the chain.
Exactly.
Just make sure we bring the function fan and something.
That's right. I was looking at that today. I was like, yeah, and make sure you bring this out.
All right.
When you need it.
What's today? The 12th or the 13th?
Today is the 13th.
Now it is. Oh my goodness. I'm getting the hay fever today, that's why. Otherwise I would probably stay home out with you.
No, you good.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm gonna let this go for like 15, 20, and then by 3 o'clock I'll be on my way home. I gotta be up at the hospital at 9:30.
Oh wow. Okay.
So,
Well, thanks for having us on, man.
it's good stuff. You know? It's good stuff. Good content to have. And this right here is a dope flyer. I don't know what I did with it. Well, you've seen the flyer, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's
Dope
nice.
flyer.
Yeah.
So I chose the picture because I knew if I asked Ms. D for a picture, I would have to wait. Waiting for a while.
Oh, we got
We waiting for a while for that picture, so let me just grab one.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna send you 3. Done and done. What kind of phone do you have?
A Galaxy 5.
Oh, so I
Email
can just
anyway.
email them. Okay.
Pictures are better quality.
Okay.
That's why I had to send those extra. Because anyway.
All right, y'all go home.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
I know you're awake. I know you're awake.
Yeah.
All right. That's the good thing about being retired and getting rest.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So
Hallelujah.
I know you're awake.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
It's a new life, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right, so we're going to go on the air with you, and I'm going to end the show talking with you, all right? All right, hold on. So you're listening to the Friday Night Function Show live on WJRH 104.9 FM. Do tell a friend that we're on every Friday night from 11:55 p.m. to 2 a.m. or thereabouts. Right now, in the background, you're listening to some house music selections from the Nightscope Deep Recordings label, as well as the Gyroscopic Records label from my brother, my Afro-Cubano brother, Deep Elements. Deep, are you there? There he is, man. So listen, man, I want to thank you, man, for contributing to the Moreno Takeover Night 2 of this station, WJRH, bro. There it is, bro. So tell me let me turn you down for a second so we can hear you. So, you heard Miss D's interview with me here. Tell me what it was like for you, man, growing up, I believe in Jersey, right? And knowing that you have lineage from a Spanish country. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. La Fuentes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So that's the connection right there. Go ahead. Tell me more. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my man, DJ Havilanche is from St. Elizabeth also, an original Function Sound member. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Oh wow. Wow. And were they realtors there, or your great grandmother, great grandfather, they're from the island, so they were realtors where they were from. To America, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. What would make them move from warm Florida to cold New Jersey? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the interesting things that I'm just realizing is that, let's see, I believe next week I've got a crew of hip hop artists in the studio with me, and one of them, Sayer, is actually Afro-Cubano también, as well as Puerto Rican. So he's got that mix. Also, he's from his father, I believe, his father's side is from Cuba. So we got a lot of cross sections happening here on the Moreno takeover of WJRH. And this is the second time that I'm doing this. I did this 2 years ago at the Matrix Studios, the DSN network up in the Bronx, as well as here in Jam Studios here in Easton when we were doing this show in 2 states, And I just decided to bring it back this year, and I'm glad that you are a part of it, bro. So tell us, what do you have coming up on Nightscope Deep that people should be checking for, and how they can reach you also. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You want to shout out? You want to shout out? You want to shout out any of those artists? All right, there you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. What's up, Deep? Yeah, Deep FX is on my timeline a lot, man. He's doing it. Shout out to Carl Hansen also. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, Dina Brown. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Shout out. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's right. That's right. We go way back like lumberjacks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that night I started playing. I heard what you played. And I was like, okay, I gotta change up. Let me play some hard stuff because this guy is not playing around, And folks, let me tell you something, folks. If you ever have the opportunity to see Deep Elements play out anywhere, go see him. I was fortunate enough to travel out with Marty Oliver, and I forget who else was with us, and we went to Club Remix when it was still open over in downtown New York, and I saw Deep Elements play there. And my man throws down. If you are not into 4 to the floor, serious Chicago, Jersey sounding house music, then you will be missing the point if you see him live. Because this guy is making some true classic, new sounding house music. All right? And I definitely appreciate it. Check out Deep Elements live. The energy is definitely, he makes you want to get out there and dance. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, you're putting them on right now. You're putting everybody on right now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it comes across. Those drums are ever present. Uh-huh. Okay. Nightscope Deep Recordings.yola site. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 I can see you have the Infiltrations EP up on your website at nightscopedeeprecordings.yolasite.com, as well as the Creeping Core EP out right now. And you can also check out some of the artists that are on his label. He's got his featured artists right on the front cover of the website. So definitely check out my man. His name is Deep Elements, all right? And that's spelled with a Z, Deep Elements, all right, with a Z at the end. And he is the CEO, creator, founder of Nightscope Deep Recordings, which is his flagship label, as well as Gyroscopic. Say that, Gyroscopic, is it recordings? Gyroscopic Records Incorporated. All right. And then the new label, which is starting, what, this year or next year? We already put some records out on the label already. It's called Direct Sounds Recording. Okay, there it is. So, folks, if you ever hear me humming over a particular song, I'll wait for you, no matter what I do. I'll wait for you. That the guy that's singing that song is Deep Elements. I'm convinced. I'm convinced he sang that song. You can tell me somebody else did it, but I'm convinced you did it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. So yeah, so he can list himself as a featured artist on his own label also. Look at man, Puff Daddy house music right there. You know what I mean? In the best sense, man. So Deep, man, I thank you for joining me on this journey here of taking over this radio station with the influence of Afro-Latinos, and you're doing it within the house music world, within the club music world, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time to support Dirty Fingers and the Function Sound. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, so I cannot wait to have the opportunity to have you come out to a Maximum Management event whether it be out here in Pennsylvania or a little closer to you guys in Jersey. We definitely keep our eyes open for opportunities to help brand other DJs, like we're doing in a couple of weeks with the Summer Jam. So let me plug that while you're on the phone right now. Let me hear what you think of that. So we have the Summer Jam 3 happening. As you might be aware, we do a jam session every summer featuring a lot of the DJs that we meet along the way via our radio shows. So this summer, it's going to be the Summer Jam 3. That's what it's called. And that's happening on May 27th. So if you're listening to this now on the podcast, if it's before May 27th, you have the opportunity to come out to Easton, Pennsylvania, and rock out with Maximum Management and our sponsor, Dell's Kitchen. Yeah, man, we're having a block party. And on that bill, I'm not even playing. On that bill is DJ Cadillac Kid from the House Music Heads in Lehigh Valley. We also have DJ Rich Williams from the Gospel House Authority and the Gospel Mix Show on the Fairleigh Dickinson University station in New Jersey. We also have DJ Homar Flames. I got to say it like, my Jamaican accent. Homar Flames is going to be coming out from Jamaica by way of the Bronx. Is coming out here to rock out with us with some Caribbean styles. And DJ Rome from the Function Sound is going to be playing all that Jersey and New York club music. So that's what's happening on the 27th of this month. That's a Saturday over Memorial Day weekend. So we're looking forward to having something like that with you, man. What do you think of that? All right. All right, that's what's up, man. So we can create the vehicle. We definitely want to have you out here, man. Once again, thank you so much, folks. You've been listening to the Friday Night Function show. Your man, Dirty Fingers. I am the host, the DJ, and producer of this show. If you do not hear my sound on the radio or my voice on the radio, then more than likely you're listening to DJ Rome or DJ Dog from my crew, The Function Sound. We are with Dr. D in New York, 4 DJs with 7 radio shows, including a podcast. And if you add Miss D, then we've got, basically, we're creating urban radio in Northeast Pennsylvania and Northwest New Jersey. There is no urban radio station in this market, so therefore, our shows provide that for you. For a full listing of our shows and when you can hear them, go to this page on Facebook. It's The Function Sound page on Facebook, okay? Facebook is like the phone book, so you can find anybody on Facebook. So that's why it's there and not a separate website. Go to Facebook, type in The Function, F-U-N-K, The Function Sound, and we'll pop right up. And pinned to the top of that is the schedule of all of our shows. You can also check out my man's stuff. He just told you that he's on SoundCloud. I definitely recommend you start there. Pick the tracks you like, click on them, and they'll take you to the website where you can buy them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There it is. I have nothing else to say. He just said it the best. All right, y'all. Have a good night. My brother, thank you so much, man. All right, so let me see where I'm at. I'm exactly at 3 hours. So I'm gonna let this rock for like 5 minutes so I can make sure that when I edit it, it's about that, and then I'll probably have to chop this into 2 shows, or send it. Once I finish editing it, send it to my distributor in a lower file, like maybe 120, so that he can at least be able to mix it and then upload it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it'll be out as a podcast hopefully by next month. If not, in a few weeks. And that way, you'll be able to get it and let people know that, you featured a lot of new music on it tonight. And since you sent me 2 straight hour mixes, then I'll probably create a couple traffic jamming shows around that also. And that way, there's a rock out. I'll do another mix behind them, and then we'll put that up as a traffic jamming show. All right? All right, so I thank you so much, man. I definitely appreciate all that you do with it. All right, man. I mean, the music is quality. I'm always there for that. All right. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, you too, man. One.